Whatever, I'll commentate by myself. Welcome to the already ongoing qualifying for the GP4 Monte Grand Prix. Actually Monza. But yeah, Adam Wolf is already finishing his lap here and yeah. I have no idea what to talk about other than the laps itself, but I'll try to do something to entertain you. So Wolf does 123.154. And the next car is Jamil Gray in the Viper. And yeah, I might talk about the contract situations going on if any relevant things come to mind, but yeah. No, I have my ghost with me. Hello, my ghost. Hello. I'm actually going insane. I might be joined by Dennis at some point, or maybe somebody else if there's any surprise visitors. But yeah, I'll just try saying shit. Gray's done his first sector. It was around 3/10 slower than Wolf, as he's coming through this long straight that I don't know if it's even named. And the second sector 53.546, half a second slower than Wolf, which is understandable for the car he's in. As he is coming into the Parabolica. That was it renamed? Was Parabolica renamed? Grados 124.003. Patrick Ferreira next in the Meyer Sank Honda. Another driver, I need the Wikipedia page open to know how he's actually doing. The cars are louder than me. How the hell is that possible? Is it better now? YKK. Is the volume better now? Because for me the cars are really quiet, or they were already, now they're just even more quieter. 26.230 for Ferreira. Coming through the Lesmos here. And that's a horrible second sector. Almost 9/10 slower than Wolf. So for sure he's going to be slower than Gray. And yes, 1.4 seconds slower. I almost feel like he made a mistake. Could be. And next car is Alfa Deal in the other Meyer Sank. As we wait for him to start his lap. So we could, if anybody's in the chat and wants to say anything about stuff. What are your opinions on the current contracts that have been announced so far? There's not too many, but well, there's quite a few, but not a huge amount. So if you have any opinions, we can talk. I think some surprises have happened as Alpha Deal starts his lap. Into the first chicane. Yeah, I understand why commentators hate this qualifying forward now. Holy shit! Alpha in the first sector, 26.236, 3 tenths slower than Wolf. And this format might actually be better without commentary. I'm just going to keep going because I've started already. As onboard shot. Now the cars are super quiet on my end. How is it on the stream? And Alpha Real goes P3, 9 tenths of the current fastest lap. And now I've increased the volume a bit, as next car is Dorian Milewski in the Carlin. As Milewski starts his lap, cannot see anymore which is the next car. I think that's Asante Moro, I think. As Milewski in the first chicane, and let's see what he pulls out in the first sector. .237, 3 tenths lower. Another one that's 3 tenths slower in the first sector than Wolf. Think seemed pretty on pace with Gray. You would expect the Carlin to get ahead. And almost 6 tenths slower in the second sector than Wolf. So I'm expecting P3. He might be slower than Alpha Deal. As he comes through the line, 124.014, he just loses out on the second place. And the next car is Asante Moro in the manor. And the sound is fine now. Well, that's great. And Moro is going to start his lap next. Coming through the line now. And there we go. First sector time 26.413.5. 5/10 slower than Wolf. And into the Lesmos. The next car graphic is in like the worst spot possible. I cannot even myself tell who it was that's next. I would say James Prickles maybe as more 53.809 second sector, and this this isn't looking like the best of laps out here to the final corner. And let's see where does Moro get himself into, and it's going to be provisional P5 24.359. And the next car is James Bricos in the Chip Ganassi, because he's had some good performances this season, but the round at Belgium was pretty much a low point for him. But let's see what he can do today. And through the line to start the lap, and the next car is going to be actually I'm not going to tell you who the next car is because I don't remember who starts with the letters MRR. Brickles in the first sector, 26.371, and it is definitely slower than Gray and Milevski and Alfadio actually. Might be Merciless, yes. No, it's what was it? Actually, I'm not going to, I'm not going to contemplate on that. Too much to think about. Brickles in the second sector, 53.911. Almost said the other thing there. But yeah, I'm predicting this lap to be P5. It's not a very memorable lap. Brickles goes on the line and 124.664. Last! What the hell happened in the last... it was Merciless. The qualifying order is the last race result reversed. And Merciless starts her lap. You know, if I was smart, I will put the Wikipedia page somewhere where I can see that. I will do that right now. Just I need to see the nice lag GP4 as Merciless 26.309, and this has turned a, this is a right disaster. Okay, now I can somewhat see and use the Wikipedia to see the little bit on results. Merciless is P9 in the standings, which is higher than I thought, and 53.826 is the second sector, and is the track getting worse, or it seems like nobody can match even Gray or Milevski here. And into the last corner and through the line, and it's going to be 124.381 P6, and Yeah, not very impressive laps from like anybody so far. Next car is going to be Colin Schmidt, who is P19 in the standings with 2 points that came at Silverstone. So typical manor results. Maybe he can get a point or two in the last four races as he starts his lap. The only Canadian driver in the Champcar series. As into the first sector, and it's 26.374, and I can already tell it's not going to be enough for top 4 at least, provisional top 4. And I would like to remind that there is a possibility of rain at the very end of the session. So maybe the track is getting colder. Who knows? Is that even coded in the game? I'm going to pretend it exists. As 54.199 into the second sector was a bit over a second slower than Wolf. Final corner, and what kind of times are we getting through the line? And it's going to be 125.132, which is almost half a second slower than Brickles. Okay, now I think we should expect a little bit better lap times, as next car is going to be TJ Bapiro, who's 14th in the standings with one P4 finish that came at Road America. As Bapiro starts his lap. Maybe the McLaren is worse than I remember. As Bapiro comes through the first chicane. As he is going to set a 26.166 on the first sector, and that is 100% faster than anybody that got there after Wolf. So as there's some rain on the track, at least on the screen, which usually means it's actually not raining. But yeah, interesting to see if it is fake rain or actual rain, as Bapiro 53.467. And I think he's going to get the provisional P2 here. Into the final corner he goes, and we are going to get a 123.865, which is good enough for P2, but still 7/10 slower than Adam Wolf. And the next car is Rafael Damel, one of the two drivers with no points. Fun fact, both of the two drivers with no points are Brazilian, and Damel has had an astonishing 4 DNFs this season, which means he's only finished twice. So maybe his first ambition for today is to actually finish the race. As he's already started his lap and on his way towards the first sector point. And he set a 26.270, and pretty similar to what Bapiro did in the first sector. So could be P2 or P3 maybe. And the second sector is going to be 53.702, and that's about 7 tenths lower than Wolf overall. So he's looking set for a provisional P3 here, which of course when you look where his teammate qualified, that will be a major improvement on that. And the lap time is going to be 1:24.182, and it's sixth. That's a slow third sector there, but he has beaten his teammate by half a second ish. As the next car is going to be Jiri Kratosville in the McLaren, and the other McLaren is currently in second place, so there's a pretty obvious target right there. And Kratosville has been pretty consistent across the season, scoring points in all but 2 rounds. .199 in the first sector, and that is definitely the second fastest first sector we have seen so far. As he's coming through the Lesmos into the second sector point. And it's going to be 53.496, and yep, without any mistakes, this will be a definite provisional P2. And he's coming through the line here, and it's going to be 1:23.825, and it's going to be provisional P2. As the next car is going to be Panos Tsekoras in the Viper, and he is P16 in the standings with 9 points, and I think he is the highest of the Viper Manor duo, of the two so-called rookie teams. Of course, on the new system, Viper and Manor can sign absolutely anybody they want, but I will still expect we will be seeing rookies in these cars possibly next season. But yeah, Chekora starts his lap now, and next car, that one I recognize, that's a Rifki Fakresane. And Chekora's coming through the first chicanes and close to the first sector point. And the time's going to be 26.367, 4.5 tenths slower than Wolf. And in the second sector we see 54.119, and that's a slow second sector. Especially considering what he did in the first sector. So let's see if his third sector is going to be follow the same trend, or if he's going to actually Keep it reasonable here. Let's see what he does. It's going to be 124.950. It's going to be P12. Faster than Colin Smith. And next car is going to be Rifki Fakrisen, and I think the Penske team overall has been a real disappointment, but I think Rifki himself P15 in the standings and only 11 points for a driver who has once set a target to win every single series in the GP4 OC. So lots of work remaining here for him as he starts the lap. First sector 26.208. Slower than Kratot's wheel, faster than Bapiro. And into the second sector he is going to do 53.387, and he's very fast in the second sector. So he's still fighting for that provisional P2 here. Of course, I think he should be fighting for the provisional pole, but that's not going to happen, I don't think, as he's coming to Parabolica and into the finish line really soon. And we are going to get a 123.701, which is going to put him in P2. As the other Penske car of Frederick Chopa is going to be next, and he started the season with a podium in Indianapolis, but then some lower points positions, and in Interlagos and Silverstone no points. And yeah, you'd want him to be higher, especially for a team like Penske, who in the Champcar they'd expect to fight for wins every single round, but maybe they have messed up the car for this season. As Chopa said, 25.989 and less than a tenth of Wolf. So now this could be a really competitive lap here. He just needs to nail the rest of the lap here. And Chopa in the second sector is going to set 53.064. He lost almost nothing to Wolf there, so this is looking like a good lap here. Into Parabolica, and very soon to the finish line. And let's see what he is going to do here. It's going to be 123.304, and it's P2, 4 tenths faster than his teammate, and 1.5 tenths slower than Wolf. And next up we got Guillaume Stope in the Peugeot, as two people in the chat will know that pronunciation of the car brand, but yeah, Stope next up, and he is P8 in the standings, scoring points in every round except for Road America. Very consistent season for him so far, and he is going to start his lap here right now. Into the first chicane. And let's see what Guillaume Stope is going to get in the first sector here, and it's going to be 126.097, 2/10 of Wolf, and I think that was faster than Fakusain's first sector. Not 100% on that, but he is closing on the second sector point really fast. And 53.225. Definitely fighting for a professional P3 here. I wonder if there's any way to fix the rain graphic in GP4 in a way where it's actually accurate. And into the line, and it is provisional P3, 123.520. Good lap. Next one is going to be Szymon Mutka in the Ferrari. In the Champcar, Ferrari is actually competitive team, as we have seen what a clown show they are in the top class right now, and you can find many reasons for that. But regardless, Mutka is not going to care about that. He's going to concentrate on his own lap. And fun fact, remove 1T and Mutka means corner in Finnish. So there's something for you to think about as he's coming through this corner. I don't remember the names, but into the first sector, and 26.066, and that is a decent first sector, slower than Zopas, but I think faster than Stope and Fakusain. And he's already went through the Lesmos here. And into the second sector, and he's fastest in the second sector, 53.077, and he went purple there. He was faster than Wolf, and could he continue that into the final sector? Is it going to be a professional pole for Szymon Mutka here? Coming through the Parabolica. And here we go, 123 and 287, and he gets a provisional P2, just about, slightly faster than Zopa. And the next car is Bernardo de Oliveira in the other Pollo. I cannot say the car brand any other way anymore. God damn it, Carlos Sainz Sr. But very good season for Bernardo. He won the opening round, and then has finished 5th 3 times, which puts him at 55 points. That's a lot of 5s. And yeah, still somewhat in the title fight. But let's see what he's going to do in here. And 26.097. So I think that was pretty similar to Stope. And into the second sector, 53.227, 2/10 slower than Wolf. bit over 2 tenths slower than Wolf, and yeah, he's going to pretty much match Stoke here. I'm going to actually correctly pronounce the car very soon. The Oliver does 23.472 P4, just ahead of his teammate. So provisional P4 and P5 for Peugeot. There we go. And next up, Robert Ionescu in the Red Bull called Andretti. He is currently P7 in the standings, one podium to his name, two DNFs, two fourth places, and one seventh place. You'd want better, and he always wants better in these races. So let's see what the Romanian driver can do here as he goes to Parabolica to start his lap. And he has started the lap and coming through the first chicane here into the first long straight. That is partially a corner. A corner that I know has a name, but I don't remember it for the life of me. And the first sector time for Ionescu 26.085, and that is around the same pace as the Peugeots. And he's going off. He almost went off at the Lesmo 1. Ah, Curva Grande, yeah. Ionescu almost went off in Lesmo 1 there, and that is going to that is definitely going to show up in the clock as he is going through sector 2 here. Let's see. And 53.641, over 6 tenths off, and unfortunately that is not going to do it. It's not a complete disaster, but the pole fight is something he can completely forget about. And into the last corner he already went through, and P9 123.902. That mistake was very costly. As my phone is ringing. Voi vittu! Fucking statistics center again. Why do they call at the evening? What the hell was I doing? Yeah, Paratsky has started his lap. We know he signed a contract. I think he's the first driver we have seen here who signed a contract. He signed a one-season contract with Sauber for next season, and it's going to be a return to the top class for him, as he's done a 25.945 in the first sector and matching Wolf there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in the top class next season. Didn't want any, didn't wait for any multi-year contracts. He's gone for the one-season contract with Sauber. And oh, 52.797. That is a mega second sector there. 2 tenths purple. And there's only two cars remaining after him, so So this is a strong contender for the pole lap here into the final corner, Parabolica, and through the line it's going to be a 1:22.808. He's beaten Wolf by almost 4 tenths here. Paratsky on provisional pole position. And next one who will try to match that is going to be Florian Volker in the pyramid. The current championship leader by only 3 points ahead of Paratsky, which means this is going to be a major lap for the title fight. Of course, Volker, who has won many titles, and he signed a 3-season deal with Aston Martin, the DTM team, not the top class team. So he's going back to DTM next season, but he wants to finish his Champcar career for now, yeah, in strong fashion, as he's closing down on the first sector point, and let's see what he's going to do here. 26.018, and he's going to be slightly slower than Paratsky there. Through the Lesmos here. The first one goes through fine, and the second one is looking decent right now. And Volker in the second sector, it's going to be 53.060, and that is definitely not enough for pole position. It's going to be very close if he can do P2 either. Through Parabolica, Volker goes, and he is going to be doing a 1:23.169, and he just about loses to his teammate Adam Wolf there. And the last car, which is of course going to be the winner of the last race, David Kupok, who's now P3 in the standings in the unready car that looks like an AlphaTauri. And yeah, we know Kupok completely dominated the round at Spa-Francorchamps, and he's starting his lap, and let's see if he can match Paratsky's lap coming through the first chicane. Through through Curva Grande here, and his first sector time is going to be 26.124, so I think Paratsky is safe for the pole right now. Through the Lesmos goes David Kupok here. Closing through the second sector point, and it's going to be 53.322. What happened on that lap? He's half a second slower. Disaster for the Andretti driver here. Through Parabolica he goes, and he is going to be setting a 1:23.639 P8 for David Kupok, and that's the qualifying over, and Enis Paratsky in a convincing fashion takes the pole position here at the Monza, at Ferrari's home track. The top class team isn't going to be doing that, by the way. And with that, I'm going to scroll through these real quick. And then you will be watching the picture of a monkey while I do the grid. And hopefully I will be joined by somebody at that point.
Terve, I'm here for the party.
Great, and I got Humskared because Discord doesn't give the notification when somebody joins when it's on stream mode.
Lol. Anyway, I'm here, exhausted, because the bus was very warm.
I've been top 5 non-scary Humskare. Yeah, I've been working all day and now I'm trying to commentate alone while I'm almost exhausted.
Yeah. But yeah, now I'm here. Hello, everybody. Here's Graph Remover.
No longer graph remover profile picture.
Yeah, for a bit. It will return.
Save that. What do we think about the stream picture?
Very nice. Reminds me of that one video from Rocket Power Mohawk. What was it? I think Red Bull Downfall or something.
I mean the video of like the original one where that that picture is from like I think a lot of people have seen that. It's a
Yeah,
very famous clip. And yeah, for the future, I'll either keep the animal theme or then I'm just going to put a picture of whatever track I'll be racing in. Or
yeah.
maybe I should start finding what is the national animal of each country and then use that for the
Ooh,
profile picture, not profile, though, for the. Oh, I'm so tired for the stream picture. Wouldn't that be bitching?
very bitching indeed.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
That summer testing out their new driver, Mahaver Orangunatan. Holy shit.
That's going to see quotes very soon.
As my dishwasher is making noises that probably the stream cannot hear, but I can hear.
That's fine. I can't hear it.
Just a few minutes and the grid will be ready.
But yeah, what we have seen Poratsky, of course, promoted to the top class for next season on pole.
Well, no series is a promotion over another anymore. What am I talking? Everybody wants to be in the top class. Who am I kidding? Almost everyone. Not George Roke. Your mic works?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, went so quiet. Just made sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to make. I'm trying to concentrate on getting the right number so the grid's going to be correct. And what driver am I missing?
I have no idea.
Just a moment. Found it. And I have to do it all again.
Perkele.
There we go. Now I just need to. Ready for the grid?
Yeah, yeah. So, will you do the first four or shall I begin?
Well, I can begin. So 4x4, we will do the grid and the first four, and it's going to be Enis Paratsky on the pole position. Next to him is Adam Wolf and Florian Volker in P3 and Simon Mutka in P4.
In fifth on the grid, we have Fredrik Sopa, the Penske, followed by Bernardo de Oliveira in the Peugeot. P7, his teammate William Stopp. And P8, David Kubok.
I did all that just to avoid saying that car brand. P9 is Rifki Farkisen and P10 Jiri Kratochvil. P11 TJ Bapiro and P12 is Robert Ionescu.
In P13 is Jamil Gray, the Viper, followed by Dorian Milewski in the Carlin. 15, Armin Al-Fadil, Maya Shank. In P16, Rafael Dummel.
P17 is going to be Asante Moro and P18 is going to be Marcy Lee. P19 is going to be Patrick Ferreira and P20 is going to be James Brickles.
And on the last row of the grid, we have Panos Securas and Colin Smith.
And completely dry race.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I was hoping a tiny bit for rain, but it is what it is.
So to talk about the pit stops, first windows will be lap 10 to 15 and the second windows will be lap 25 to 30.
Yes, now we have the lights coming on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights on. And we are racing at Monza. It's a good getaway from Adam Wolf. It seems he's almost already side by side next to Persky as they barrel down into turn 1. The chicane, of course, we're very close already. So Wolf takes the lead. Persky second. It's third Mutka, then Volker, then Sopan fifth. It looks like, no, I was about to say everybody avoided chaos, but no, there's collision there. Ferreira, Dummel as well. I think Dummel is out. Milewski lost his nose cone. Yeah, Dummel is out. Yeah, indeed. It's now there's now single filing to the next section, sector 2,
Ferrero's
the
going to lose
Desmos.
a ridiculous amount of time here.
Yeah, he's still stuck.
His
He
car is
is
actually
raced.
completely fine. Just needs to get
Yeah.
through.
Oh, god damn it. Please don't tell me if he's stuck too long, his car will get sent away, but he's trying. Almost. Go on. Now
No!
oh no! Are you kidding me? Ferreira's out. He misjudged the gap there. Yeah, his race is also finito. The first chicane. Shame. So Kiyopok sending attack and stop. I think is his Wolf sets the fastest lap of the race. Was first lap, so it will be obliterated quickly. So the side by side, it looks like Kiyopok's gonna take the place. So Ionescu still going to get one place. Oh, is that a penalty? So where's the yellow flag? There it is, yes.
Yep. And that is
Clear.
going to be a 5-second penalty for Jamil Gray.
Yep. Definitely clear penalty and no judging about that. So yeah. Space really compromised. So now there was Milewski in the pits. So by the way, I think Q-Box move was clean, so he does definitely not get a penalty.
He got the position before the yellows.
Yeah. He timed his move to perfection. As now Voracki is actually got changed by his teammate, Utka. Now Milewski rejoins track. But still, Prau is fighting. That is definitely helping Wolf. Now Woodcast going side by side with his teammate Prachki. The shooter looks upon holding a yellow flag. It was scary. Something happened.
That's
Oh, it's the Oliveira. And
and
he
that's a
is.
puncture.
Yeah, I was about to say that does not look like a crash. He's out. Yeah, same. The first part of the season for him was going so well. He led the championship, but unfortunately he came back down to earth. Yeah, when he punched on lap 2, that's awful. Awful luck for him.
Yeah, look at the tire go, the one that's punctured.
Yeah, it's
You can see it's still
clear
bleeding.
which one's punctured.
As here's the two Ferraris fighting. He's
Yeah, Mutka
yeah,
on
Paratsky
side through.
let Mutka through here cleanly. As I
Yep.
think Zopa took Walker.
Yep. Definitely looks like Zopa is having a good start to the race.
Yeah, and he does
So
need
yes.
some results because the Penske has been quite disappointing this season.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that you mentioned that in qualifying that for the car they have, the seasons are absolutely shocking.
Yeah, they're P10 and 15 in its standings.
Yeah, especially Fakuzain, who in some parts had very bad luck, but some parts definitely hadn't the pace. Yeah, that's definitely not. But see, they need to step up here.
And here's Cupok against Stope, Oyo against Andretti.
Is it me or did Stope get past, repass Qpok somewhere?
I
Because I
don't
can't.
remember.
Because the last
They're
time I
fighting right
remember
now.
was Qpok in front. But there's now Qpok has to do it over again. Also, Ionescu is coming behind those two. We could emerge into freeway fight for 6. But Qpok, I think, could get the move in now. Yep, there he goes.
Yeah, looks like he's done it.
Yeah, for a second time now. So hopefully he can now pull away enough. But yeah, also that's one directly through. Now the next one is coming for stop. At the front, the gap is definitely not big. Almost about a second, but he just keeps going a bit wide.
Yeah,
We kept it on track.
he's done very similar to what he's did in qualifying.
Oh damn!
And how the hell do I turn the microphone volume up? Because oh, what's happening there? Like, do I have to shout into this thing? Give me a moment.
Definitely not. Will not be good for your voice. But so far is not all over Paratsky here.
Wait.
Oh, he's right.
What's going on there?
What's the camera doing? Stop! Lost the part of the front wing. He has to beat. Oh, damn! Not good for him at all. Terrible start for the race for Peugeot.
How's the microphone volume now? Chat.
To mention, it was a nice drift from Stop when he was in the gravel, the
Apparently it's
parabolica.
better, but yeah, let's see the mistake here.
Yeah, he hit the grass. Oh, that could have gone so wrong there, but luckily he somehow became the master of drifts on the gravel.
Yeah, I literally turned my microphone into like I put every setting to the maximum they could be. So
So
apparently,
well,
apparently that's how you do it. But anyway,
now
concentrating on the race here.
so Volker is closing in on across his main championship rival, because these are the top two in the standings. If this stays like this, I don't think Purchki has the fast lap, of course, still very early, but these two would be tight on points.
Yeah, that is the Piratsky Walker fight is going to be important for the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mutka is very close. It's not very that close as I thought, but he's pushing very hard to get even closer to the back of Wolf. The fight for the lead is coming up. And yellow flag.
What is
Oh, that's
going on
crashed.
here? That's
Miracles.
Brickles and
And that's
Lee.
Marcy Lee. Big crash. The
What's
entrance
going on
start
here?
finish. I think it's maybe someone lost it. I think, yeah, Lee
Lee has
went off,
lost it
crashed.
and
Yeah, Brickett clipped the
Brickles hits the
debris. Yeah, here
tire.
we go. Oh,
That's a big one.
yes, big crash. Indeed.
So look at that. Yeah,
They're very
that
unlucky
goes
for
the,
Brickett.
both of the left tires go and the car just goes spinning like a record.
Yeah, yeah, unfortunately, that's Brickett's at least race both done. Also, there's still debris, but I don't think it's on the racing line, so should be okay now. So we have battle for a lead. Here's Mutka against Wolf, and he's done it.
He's done it, and Ferrari leads on their home track again here. But he's had a poor exit here.
Yeah, Wolf is all over him. Look, once again, almost side by side. He could send it into Parabolica, but has to stay
He's
back. But
avoids because of the yellows, I think.
oh yeah, that's a smart move. Now,
But that might have ruined his chances there.
yeah, he's lost definitely some time there because he also took a wider line.
Also, shout out
Really?
to Asante Moro, who's P9 in the manor right now. And
Yeah,
Prey is overtaking Fakrusane. What's going on for Fakrusane here?
yeah, Fakuzane's having horrendous pace. That's not the Fakruzane I know from his early days of his career, but also DTM.
Yeah, the other Penske is P3 right now. So
Yeah,
there's
that
really
is
no
definitely.
excuses.
Yeah, that's. On the other hand, it's so far a very good race from Sopa. He also is catching Wolf. He's definitely in the race for the podium at the moment.
Of course, we have to be a bit wary of the fuel loads.
Yeah, that's of course it's one big factor here, but still, so far very impressive from Sopa. Also, Pawacki managed to get a bit of a gap between him and Volker once again. Also, Cureborg is not far away. Yeah, look. Oh, he's closing. He will definitely be in the attack zone for, I would say, end of next lap. Maybe even end of this lap.
Yellow flags, and that's in the first corner. And
What?
Fakrusane is out.
Fakuzain. Oh,
And has he
it's a
crashed
crash.
out by himself? Because there's
Yeah,
nobody
it's a
around him.
crash, definitely. Ah, that compounds his misery. Yeah, it's an accident. So
let's see what's going on. He takes the curb and oh, that's a bit embarrassing.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
there was
definitely
no need to take the curb like that, and he's just slipped into the wall.
yeah, that's fucking saying out of this race. But we're already on 6 retirements. By the looks of it.
Yeah, usually happens with Monza does like to compound the crashes. It's easy to get caught up in other people's issues in Monza. As here's Chopa on Wolf, which is
Yes,
good news for him, as he is going to carry the Penske flag here by himself.
yeah.
But Wolf
But
coming back.
Wolf is, yeah, he's coming back. He's having the edge, and he will break later and retake second place for now at least.
Side by side, but that's helped Paratsky to gain back.
And that could also help Volker because Patrick could be stacked up in this battle tiny bit, but it looks okay for Patrick so far. It's not great. But Wolf, tiny error.
And the battle heats
Uh,
up.
Yeah, almost 4 car battle here. Definitely 2 car Paratski is definitely in striking distance as well. But now Zopa is going for the re-attack.
He's going for the early move here. And he overtakes Wolf, but how's the exit going to be? And it's going to be a
Not
poor
good.
exit, and now all of them are bunched together here.
Oh, that will be a
It's
big
going to
battle.
Paratsky
3
trying the
wide.
double overtake here. And
And it's got
Volker,
it. Volker as well.
and
Wow.
Paratsky has done double overtake, and Volker almost takes them both as well, but instead he gets one of them, but now they're again fighting on the main straight, and this is amazing.
And we have a pit call for Zopa.
And
So, and he now the second, but he will pit.
yeah, he
At
needs
the
to build a
scrap.
gap right now. Wolf pits
Yeah.
as well, and Cupok
And
is in this
Q-Box
battle now as
also
well.
there.
Everything's going
Yeah.
on right now.
Yeah. Also Mutka is pitting. With the Germans fighting.
Yeah, by the way, Mutka has built a nice gap for himself.
Yeah, he definitely got helped by this pack fighting
As now
so
my
hard.
alarm clock is telling me to go to work. That was yesterday. I don't have evening work
Got
today.
them.
Yesterday I did have.
Nice delay. Oh, not nice. Now we have the castle vehicle. Also, UNESCO is not so far away. Kyobok is getting 5th place. Very surely.
Yeah, he's done it.
Yep.
And now few of these cars are going to pit.
Yep.
And Chopa. And of course Mutka. Let's
And
take a look.
someone else.
Will they get traffic or will they try to get the undercut to work?
Could be either. If we both it. This long stop.
10.9. 10 point. Yeah,
Just.
it's a long stop. So yeah, and Wolf had to wait. Let's see
Yeah.
whether they. It's going to be really close for Mutka. There's a Viper. Oh,
Did you
don't do
get
that.
paused? No. Almost. Was close.
Great news for Mutka, I think.
Yeah. Very great news.
And also, yeah, Chopa and Wolf both, they all got clean air there.
Yeah. So they have good pace. Fight as well.
And
Walker's under
Investor and
pressure
Volker
from next
fighting.
Andretti.
Oh,
So Ionescu,
defending hard.
no, he gonna be the oversteer in the middle of the corner. Looked like. Yeah, now Ionescu will pit. Top 3 will stay out.
Yeah, if he gets clean air, he could undercut Volker and maybe Kupok.
Yeah, let's see. So Ionescu dives into the pits. I actually think that he could get as long pit stop as everybody did before him. Waiting. 9.5
9.5.
bit quicker. 1 second quicker than everybody else.
Yeah, few other cars coming to the pits as well. And let's see where Ionescu puts himself into. Or more like where the team puts him. And he's ahead of Wolf here.
Yep. Oh wow. I did not expect that at all. Ionescu overcuts. Wolf.
He is behind Zopa and Mutka, but ahead of Wolf, so that's worked out
Yeah.
nicely for him.
Yeah, Wolf lost a lot.
And next, Paratsky is going to pit, and so is going to be Volker.
Yep. Q-Poke is staying out. That's interesting. He also will go longer, but that will happen in the next few stints. And also, the overcut could be quite powerful maybe here, so it could be depending on the car, but
Yeah, of course, in a track like Monza where there's just a lot of straights, the amount of time you gain by having less fuel just increases and increases, even if the tires are
yeah,
there. And Paratsky 9 and Volker 10.3 second stop, so
long
there's
stop.
Mutka already, so no overcutting him. And Paratsky, and there's Chopa, and Paratsky is ahead of Chopa.
Yep.
And
Ionescu's
Volker, oh,
and of
Wolf is
Volker.
there. And
Yeah,
now Chopa is going
Wolf.
to fight with Paratsky.
Yeah, yeah. Also, what we talked about is Wolf lost so much time at the stop. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah, of course he was held up. I forgot about that. But yeah, I think these pit stops, the Ferrari have been the biggest winner maybe.
Yeah, definitely, because Paratsky is now if these other cars are coming in, he will be second.
Yeah, Moro and Alfadil are pitting next.
Yep. We still wait for Papiro and Cubok, of course, who yet to take the first pit stop. So more in with a good first stint. Let's see where he can and will rejoin. See how quick the stop is. It is
8.
8.9.
Yeah, this is of course something you gain by pitting later, is that you don't have to put as much fuel in the car for the second stint. And Moro is
Yeah,
going
definitely.
to stay in the points positions. And Cubok
Yeah,
is
indeed.
pitting next lap. So is Bapiro.
So that will be the Ferrari. Not too, but also Cubok, I think, with that overcut could gain some places still, but will be interesting to see where he will slot in after that stop. He stops this box.
Fast
8.8.
stop there. And
Now
let's
Mutkas, of course,
yeah,
through.
Mutka is already through here.
He is.
And so
There
is
was
Paraski and Chopa. And Janescu against Cupok there after that stops the two teammates.
close. Oh, watch out, the teammates. But they kept it clean.
They have survived. But they're still
Yeah,
fighting
but
here.
Lesco has to run, of course, with the tires really on temperature. We send it.
Yes, and
Yes, he
he's doing the
does.
move.
Yeah, he threw up to fourth. So
And
now we.
we have seen that Paraski is actually getting away from Chopa. So the Ferrari 1-2
Yeah,
is looking pretty good here.
yeah. OC team, take notes. The top class team, take notes.
Never! As we know, their trend is down. Ooh,
Yeah, let's
Alfonil!
go.
And he's
Ooh,
almost gone off there.
yeah, but he kept it on track, luckily.
In the Lesmo 2. Yeah, that's a lot of others there in the pink Myers and car.
Yeah, that's not a place where you want to go off. Instantly, my mind comes to instantly Rick Yarn in 2015, where he crashed in the last lap.
I absolutely hammered it into the wall back then.
Yeah, yeah.
And Cupok is trying to get the place back from Ionescu.
And he gets it back on the inside, back to fourth. Lap 16. Mutka having commanding lead 6 seconds. Yeah, also still more with a fantastic race. He's actually very close to Crutchfield ahead of him. Very good race indeed so far. Hopefully we didn't jinx it.
Yeah, it's always impressive when you can get either a Manor or a Viper into points.
Yeah, on these days, the Maya Schenk.
Yeah, they have fallen down to that level, that is true.
Yeah,
I mean,
look at
maybe
this. So,
maybe Manor, maybe one of those teams can build a winning team one day. Probably not soon, but maybe one day.
yeah, that was is a good possibility to happen, but it's not get ahead of ourselves.
Cupok is a lot faster than Chopa.
Yeah, he also managed to get himself off UNESCO, so he's definitely having the pace. Well, of course, with the freshest tires out of all. So,
Easy move for
Gray,
Alpha Dil on Grader.
yeah, it looked like Greg's pace is fading a little bit. Of course, he also has still a 5 second penalty. So that's definitely not a good sign for him. But of course, there's still 20 laps to go, more than half of the race. Perchki,
There's the fight between Cupok and Chopa.
yeah, that's fight from third is in the Q block. It looked like he's gonna have an easy run, and he goes through it, Parabolica.
Oh, and that's a great run on the exit. I don't think Chopa can do anything about that.
Yeah, I was about to mention that as well. He's too far back. That was a great pass and great advantage already.
Yeah, usually you are not able to build that kind of gap on the exit of Parabolica, but Cupok has done it, and
Yeah,
he is looking set to continue an impressive run of results here.
yeah, of course. Who Kupok, who of course won the last race. Then, well, the race before that he had, I think it was a DNF. But yeah, of course, he's after the win last time out, he's
Well,
definitely
he was
in
so
good
dominant
form.
in Spa that you could say he did 2 races there while others did 1 race.
Yeah, that is true. That it was a domination there last time out.
Also, he's rapidly catching Paratsky as well.
Yeah, so
Because
speaking of catching, Mo is on the inside of Quattrochill for P8. And he gets the move. Oh, does he?
side by
Side by
side,
side still. And he stays in front.
the other McLaren
That,
just appeared in the background.
yeah. These cars are all still very close to each other. With actually, on one hand, is good for the backmarker teams. On the other hand, is not that good for the McLarens. The gap is down to 1.4. Team first and Q-Pog now 1.2 even. The Q-Pog is absolutely on a roll.
He does have the freshest tires.
Yeah, but of course you need to make everything out of these tires, so he's definitely having good pace.
Yeah, less than a second to Paratsky right now.
Yep, he could make moves maybe at Ascari next lap. Let's see. So Quattrochill under pressure again for more. Will he make the move stick this time? Yes, but the exit will be bad.
And now there's 2 McLarens.
Well, it will be because the Papiro is using all the advantage. He's maybe passing both of them. And he
Oh,
is. Oh, this is
no,
side by side.
he's side by side there.
Well, Quattrochill
And
now has a
Kratasville doesn't know
disadvantage.
what he wants to do.
And now he lost out. But he's still going back. Oh, look at the slipstream. But Papio's ahead of both of them. Great stuff.
Nicely taken opportunity.
Yeah, indeed. That's a great use of. I would say it could have been some act of teamwork, maybe.
But Kratasville cannot get Moro, and I think if from what we saw on their fight, I think if Moro can just get a little bit of a gap, he is going to build it. But
Yeah,
now
he's.
Kratasville is using the slipstream to his advantage.
Yep. So he could. He's closing the gap further, but
Ionescu
Mo
has
is defending
overtaken
well.
Zopa,
Yeah, indeed. The
but
Sopa
Zopa,
is
will he get the place back?
could well be. So Sopa on the inside again of Ionescu. Does he have to coach on the brakes? Yes, he does. Back and forth. Oh, Kranich got is down to 11th. Oh, got passed by Alpha Deal. What's that happened here? The Kranich now almost dropping out of points. Can he take it
Ooh.
back? Oh, just. That also brings
Let's see
great
what
play.
went on there, because no, I think Alfredil just it was this, yeah, the fight in
Yeah, Alpha.
the fight that there Alfa took just catches him up real fast, and then they are having a massive battle here.
Yeah.
And now there's a Minor and a Meyersank in the points right now.
Oh, that is absolutely astonishing. As I said earlier, for Meyer shaking points result would be massive.
But will it last, or will Kratos will ruin the party right here?
Yeah, that could be.
No.
He has to stay behind for now at least. Then also Gray and Smith are waiting the wings there. Also, if something happens here, they could capitalize, especially Gray, who is very close, but also Smith not far off.
And Chopa and Dianescu are continuing to fight. Chopa over Tukionescu again.
I think someone joined us here. Yeah, now we look at Protsky once again. Yeah, Protsky, very, I would say, in the middle between two cars, with not much fighting before the not to the back. Oh, it's James Brickett here. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me
Yeah, I
okay?
think now. Yeah, can you fine? So, your time commentating, you'd say, finally has come to an end. Yeah, that's what you wanted. You know, you just go and so far still fighting. They definitely do not get a big gap enough for each other. Those mood cars still. I was about to say having everything under control, but Q-Pog is closing in.
Yeah, catching up to Mutka. Mutka looking for his second win of the season after Road America.
Yeah, and Q-Pog also looking for his second win of the season after having a field day last time out at Spa.
Absolutely, and it was a dominant performance last time I heard from Qpok in the pouring rain. And
Yeah.
that was some half a second quicker in that middle sector from Qpok.
Yeah, I was about to mention he's still on the roll. Of course, the final pit stop going just to decide everything. Also, if Singster and Parachki would take the lead of the standings.
Yeah, just looking at those standings now and trying to work out who would take the lead, and indeed Parachki currently in third. I have to double check that, but yep. Third place Parachki 16 points if
16,
yeah, because he got pole position, and Qpok 25 moving to 84, so a few points behind if he stays there, and if Qpok wins.
Yeah, indeed. So that at the moment would look good for Macedonian, of course. As mentioned earlier, will be promoted to top class next season, driving for Sauber.
Absolutely, the contract periods are underway at the moment, and actually, if it stays like this, then Ferrari would take the lead in the team's championship from Pyramid.
Oh yeah, of course. It's now Ferrari. Still at one is 1-3 for Pyramid. They're just off the pace here, it seems.
And look at the rest of the order, and bad race for Peugeot with De Oliveira out and stop. Channeling his inner Sebastian Loeb at the Parabolica and ending up with a broken front wing. And awful race for Chip Ganassi. terminally unlucky Rafael Duhamel, 5th retirement in 7 races, and Rickles getting his entire left side wiped out by an errant wheel left by Marcy Lee.
Yeah, indeed, very lucky indeed. So we have a pit goal for Prix. So we now entered the second phase of the pit stops. So as we have seen in the first time, that could be car specific if the undercut or overcut is working. There could be the same one for the second set of stops.
So far, the overcut looks to have been the more powerful tool, and that's certainly helped Ionescu get the jump on some of his rivals, particularly Wolf and Volker.
Yeah, also Q-Pok is coming in, so he'll try the undercut now on Mutka.
Pushing hard on his in-lap.
Yep. Oh, what's Gap saying? 1.0.
Second.
Gained another half a second in the sector, which is just speaking for Q-Pok's pace. But also now, in hindsight, he of course had lighter fuel. But he will now pit. Mutka, I think, will stay out for at least one more lap.
Don't remember how long the pit window usually lasts. It's usually like 5 laps that the pit windows last.
Indeed, 5 laps can decide everything. It's also
Parachki as well.
Yep, second, third, this race. In Ionescu goes through so far. What's the stop? 8.2.
About half a second quicker than his first pit stop.
Yep, indeed. Parachki 8.4.
Where will the order for the moment, but he'll regain quite a lot of those positions once everyone else makes their mandatory second pit stop. So he's joining 8th ahead of Armin Alfadil.
Yeah, who so far is having a decent race. He's looking maybe for some points. Enough check. Wouldn't be his first points. Yeah, he capitalized from the chaos was going on there.
There's only 2 drivers yet to score points, one being Duhamel and the other one being Ferreira, and both of those got involved in that first lap shenanigans at the Rettifio chicane.
Yeah, I wanted to keep both of them with the same incident. So Ionescu is heading towards his second stop of Swain's final stop. And of course, we have to put less fuel in than the others two pitted, but will be interesting to see, especially in the battle with Sopa, where he will join.
Looking good for 4th place, I reckon, unless some drivers behind do a successful overcut. That's 8.3 seconds, and Ionescu exits the pits. Got more drivers coming into the pits soon. A lot of pit mechanics out.
Yep. Absolutely, I think of them.
See Bepiro's in the pits.
Yep. Bepiro's in. As you said, Ionescu comes just ahead of Quattrofield. Smith is coming in, also Stop, who, as you mentioned earlier, after doing his inner Sebastian Loeb, unfortunately, he completely ruined his race.
Well, Marcy Lee channeled in a Derek Warwick. If you remember, he had a massive crash at the Parabolica in 1990.
Yeah, I remember it, but it was 10 years before I was born. Yeah.
It was only 2 years for me, so I am the resident old git round here.
That's alright. So now Woodcar's in, also Soba will come in, and Volker will stay out. Yes, Volker will go for one more.
It's an important stop.
At least.
He doesn't need to get held up, he doesn't, and it's a good stop. So let's see where he rejoins in relation to David Kupok. Whereabouts is Kupok?
I think that was Cooper coming through. It was Cooper who
Wow.
smiled that.
What a set of outlaps for David Kupok.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, the German is looking out for a second win. Unless something dramatic happens, but yeah, what an undercut. First he made good use of the overcut, now the undercut. Amazing.
Good stuff, Kupok. Looking quite good for the second consecutive win of the season. First time there'll be a back-to-back winner if it stays like this, but there's still 9.5 laps to go. As up the inside of Alfadil goes Ionescu, back up to 5th place for the moment.
Yep, indeed. Now at this stage it looks like the undercut is absolutely the way to go, which is very interesting. A big contrast to first round stops. So Tsikuras, Sinimileski in the back. Sopa does need to get past here, otherwise his charge is done until he does not get past here.
Not a right lot of straight line speed on that for that Honda engine. Which engine are McLaren? That's the McLaren, isn't it, in front?
Yep.
Yes, it is. The McLaren running I've got it in front of me, the BMW engine, which same engine in the back of the pyramid, so no shortage of power in the back of that McLaren.
Yep.
Alfadil pits, by the way, as does Jamil Gray.
Yep. Indeed, so Sopa needs to get past to save his chances for top 5 finish, and he does.
Nice move on the brakes.
Who's yet to pit? I think Volker's still out on circuit.
Volker looks to be the last of the runners to make the second pit stop. And it'll be interesting to see where he rejoins in relation to Robert Ionescu, who had to make his way through Armin Alfadil. So that's going to be a close one.
Yep, absolutely.
Having said that, I think Kupok is closing in quite quickly. So, yeah, I think you're right in that the undercut seems more powerful this time round. Crutchfield due in the pits this lap.
Yep, and he is still fighting for a point this race. So there could be anyone's gain in the back end of points, but out of the front end of points.
Volker's in the pits, by the way.
Yeah, Volker's in the pits is now. Kupok is leading the race.
In fact, Volker nowhere near rejoining ahead of Ionescu. Yep, that's the old tyres for you, but maybe Volker could go for a fastest lap.
Yeah, also Sopa is ahead of him. Also Wolf, not close, but Wolf is not that far off, so he is not still beaten yet by his teammate.
I just realised I've been pronouncing his name wrong. He's got an umlaut above the O, so it should be Volker.
Yeah, I'm doing that on purpose. Yeah. Because I could do it if I want to. Because same language.
I do like the German language. It's a fun language.
You just offended all German speakers.
Only very basic for me.
Yeah.
Nicht gut.
So Pratsky is a distant third. No one directly ahead of him. No one that far behind him. Also there's Ionescu. He gained
4 seconds was the gap, 3.8 over the line. So
2
Ionescu
tenths.
needs a little bit more if he's going to challenge for a podium place.
Yeah. What's the gap? What here? 200s. That's not enough.
Gap stabilising at 2.9 for the moment, past the first sector. And that's all Kupok needs to do. In Paratsky, third place, 6.2 behind Mutka. Fairly comfortable. Volker catching up to Soper for fifth. That's kind of to be expected on fresher tyres. So there may be a battle for fifth coming up in the closing laps.
Yeah, and of course he needs to gain those extra points back because, as established earlier, Volker would lose the championship lead as it stands. I think, was it at the moment it's 82 for Volker and 87 for Paratsky, if I did my maths right there.
And then 84 for Kupok. So
Like,
Volker would actually drop behind Kupok in the Drivers' Championship.
Oh yeah, that's true. So of course we have mentioned about Kupok, so he would be launched right into the championship battle there.
Absolutely, coming at a crucial time as after this we'll be heading into the Asian leg of the season. Beginning at the Yongam circuit, Korea International, then Fuji Speedway, and then the final round at the Suzuka circuit. That is Jamil Gray being challenged by one of the McLarens.
Yeah, in theory, the McLaren could stay behind because he doesn't need to get past, but of course he's still fighting for some points. Maybe the gap is not that big as you imagine.
Mercedes engine in the back of that Viper, no match at all.
Yeah, and also what just spring to my mind with the fastest lap, of course, Kupok could be a contender for the fastest lap at the moment. As I said that, I think actually it's Mutka.
Mutka holding the fastest lap at the moment. I imagine that would have been during the first or second stint.
Yeah.
All useful points for Ferrari in the team's championship battle.
And also that would mean that Mutka is also having a good shout in the fight for the title because he would be, I think, on 72 points.
72, that would be
only
Belling
15.
Up to fourth in the championship ahead of Bernardo de Oliveira.
Yeah, who of course already retired on lap 2 after suffering that puncture.
Good luck, Bob Dole. Colin Smith in 11th place at the moment, 4 seconds off of the points. If anything happens to the top 10, then Smith could be getting himself another handy little point after it was in 9th place at Silverstone. What was a good drive?
Yeah, he needs one driver to suffer some kind of big issue to start into the points, but I don't see that happening because these cars are actually quite reliable. And if we have some races with more than, let's say, 4 retirements, it's mostly due to crashes. We have 4 laps remaining.
Could be a battle for 8th coming up soon. TJ Papero only 1.0 seconds ahead. I can't remember who it was, but yep, possible battle for 8th, and Filker was only 1.2 seconds off of Soper for 5th place, so there is definitely going to be a battle for 5th in the closing stages. It's Asante Moro in 9th place at the moment.
Yeah. Or still holding on to his points position. That would be a great achievement for him and also for his team Meta Racing.
You can see the graphic on the top left, the gainers and losers, and Ionescu and Morrow gaining 8 places each, and Kupok gaining 7 places each. So, yep, brilliant drive from David Kupok.
Yeah, very great. Also stamping his authority, also showing why he actually should be one of the contenders to get a top class seat for next season.
Wasn't he in the top class last season? So was he an AlphaTauri driver? I seem to remember Kupok being in the top class the season before. I'll double check that. And 3 laps remaining.
Yeah, 3 laps to go. Here, the Temple of Speed. Not so close is getting lapped by Q-Pop.
La Pista Magica, I think, is another name for it. Might have got that one slightly wrong, but a few nicknames as Monza.
The gap is 2 seconds, but I think Q-Pop got held up a bit by the traffic. Also, Volker is...
He was indeed an AlphaTauri driver last season, 2022.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he'll be having a return if he gets a contract next season.
Yeah, hoping for it. Because it was a very harsh situation last season for him to not get a seat for this season's campaign. But he's fighting back with the spirit. Also, I think if my memory is correct, it could be his first season with 2 wins in the season. So let me check first. Why? Say nonsense.
Hattersfield taking 11th place from Colin Smith, by the way.
So it actually would be his first season with more than 1 win since 2017 when he was in GP2.
Good going. Kerr's been closing up on the gap between himself and Q-Pop. That's now down to 1.7 seconds, and Parachki only 1.3 ahead of Ionescu, so Parachki's third's not quite safe, and he is deep in traffic at this stage.
Yeah, if he's not careful, that could develop into a battle on the last lap. But at the moment, it looks like that Parachki could hang on. Also, that will be important because if he loses the 3-point Ionescu, then we would have the unique situation of 3 drivers being tied on points in this championship.
And for the neutrals, that would be absolutely superb.
Yeah, indeed. But it looks like Parachki is holding on. Because he also not
between himself and Ionescu. And that very car is a Carlin, and it is Dominik Milewski. Dorian Milewski, excuse me.
So Q-Pop is on his last lap. He has done everything right today after starting. I actually don't remember where he started. But it was not from the first 2 or 3 rows. It was 8th. The Q-Pop has done a magnificent job here for the second race in a row. This time with definitely more fighting going on than last time out at Spa. But he's still on absolute rails.
Absolutely, and showing that not only can he dominate a race from the front, but he can also fight his way through the field in order to get to the front. There's 4 more corners to go now. There are 3 of them of the Variante Ascari. Now the back straight before one last corner, the Parabolica, also known as the Michele Alboreto curve.
Indeed. I just noticed that Volker would still be anything on countback, but not...
As out of the final corner, and to take his second win of the season, back-to-back wins, David Q-Pop for Andretti Chevrolet. Second, only 1.7 seconds off is Simon Mutka, and there's Sakuras a lap down in 15th, and 2 Ferraris on the podium. Enis Parachki, pole sitter, taking a well-earned third for his 5th podium of the season. Ionescu, good drive, from 12th up to 4th, and Frederick Soper holding on to 5th place ahead of Florian Völker. Then they'll be confirming the rest of the top 10. Adam Wolf in the other pyramid, finishing 7th, and then PJ Papero in the McLaren BMW, going through Michele Alboreto curve. The Parabolica take P8, and that will be his second points finish of the season after a 4th place at Road America. Taking 9th place is Asante Moro, good result for the Mana Mercedes, and 2 African drivers in the top 10 as Armin Alfadil finishes 10th. Yuri Kratchville 11th, Colin Smith 12th in the Mana Mercedes, Jamil Gray 13th, and with a 5-second penalty that shouldn't have any impact on his final result because Guillaume Stopp is quite a way behind in 14th and last of the runners on the lead lap.
Yep, that's now the race finished. What a drive from David Q-Park. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, that's now
Obvious
his...
candidate for driver of the day.
Yeah, definitely. That's a few other minus. Now we have the results. Now going through once again, David Q-Park wins 1.7 seconds ahead of Mutgard second, Perchki third, UNESCO fourth, Sopa fifth, Volker sixth, Wolf seventh, Papio eighth, Moa ninth. Also second points finish for him this season. For the first round is Alfredil 10th and Quattrostreet 11th, and you can do the rest.
Thank you. And Colin Smith finishes 12th with Jamil Gray 13th, plus 5 seconds for overtaking under yellows, and Guillaume Stopp 14th in the first of the Peugeots. Then lap down, Panos Sakouras in the Viper and Dorian Milevski in the Carlin, and then the remaining runners failed to finish, which are Rifki Fakhrizadeh with a clumsy crash at the Rettifio, James Brickles colliding with an errant wheel left by the crash Marcy Lee, Bernardo de Oliveira, the only non-crash, it was a puncture going into Ascari on lap 2, and then Patrick Ferreira and Rafael Dumel, both having a bit of fracas at the Rettifio on the first lap. Fastest lap, Simon Mutka.
Yep, that is 1 point for him as well, so 19. So yeah, that's been it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the action, of course. Yeah, so we don't go through the rest once again. Fast laps. Yeah. It's a girls so, but yeah, that's been the race at Monza here. I hope you've enjoyed it. Of course, next time here with Champcar will be race, as James mentioned earlier, at Yongam at Korea. A fantastic venue for some good old racing. But yeah, next time I think from Yuri's end will be the top class here at Monza.
And when that happens,
Yeah.
I will be telling
Stream's still on?
you on.
I have no idea. That's silence. If the stream's still on, see you next time. Bye.
See you all next time.